Warning, the food supply has been compromised. I'm going to go over today many examples of this. The FDA has actually okayed a bacteria-eating virus to treat meat. What they said at the bottom here is that a mixture of 6 bacteria-killing viruses can safely be sprayed on meat and poultry to combat common microbes. So let's go over that very briefly here. Quite sick. It actually says that they can spray on a virus onto the meat legally, and it will eat the bacteria. So when this meat is putrid and rancid and disgusting, they can spray this on and make it safe for human consumption, or so they say. This reminds me of what happened right after 9/11 when the EPA said that the air was safe to breathe. Using expired meat in China was allegedly a company policy for a U.S.-owned supplier. This U.S.-owned supplier in China was taking meat that was expired, that was rancid, and basically mixing it in with the so-called fresh chicken, and then they would take that, package it up, and send it off to the major retail chains like McDonald's and KFC and so on. So that meat should have been thrown away. It was definitely putrid. Instead, they saved money and they brought it back onto the line. Now, this isn't just China, because you need to look at this. Revealed the dirty secret of the UK's poultry industry, and it goes on to say that 2/3 of the fresh retail chicken in the UK is contaminated with this bacteria here. And you could see the picture at the bottom showing you the disgusting chicken guts all over the floor. Something got backed up apparently, and they were taking some of this and they were putting it back onto the line. And this is the kind of thing that gets people sick, it gets them ill, and this is actually allowed to continue on because we all know it'll never go past any little investigation, a slap on the wrist. Chicken from China, your seafood is already being processed there. You can read the article for yourself. It's pretty amazing. But right here at the bottom, American consumers will never know that their chicken processed in China is in foods. Chicken processed in China is in foods like chicken soup, chicken nuggets, because there's no requirement to label it as such. They make this legal, and we have to abide by this. We have to then eat it, and we are forced into eating nothing but garbage because of the laws that have been set up. But how exactly is this possible? Where is this government structure that is supposed to be in place to protect us? I'll get into that in a moment. I just wanted to also note that in these Chinese plants, there are no on-site USDA inspectors in the plants, okay? So they are able to do whatever they want based on their own laws, and we know how lax their food safety laws are from before, the incidents that have occurred that have been very dramatic. This is right here, the former Monsanto employees at the FDA, the USDA, and the EPA. You have the actual enemy working at the highest positions in government. I've gone over this before, but take a look at this. The senior VPs, the top Monsanto scientists, all of these people then become the FDA commissioner, the deputy director, the FDA reviewer, so on and so forth. So they're working in the absolute highest positions of power, and it's no wonder why these things are allowed to pass through, because the alumni go to work for the government and then oftentimes come back to work there. It's such a revolving door. It is so obvious, and it's allowed to go on. And if you believe anything that these so-called scientific organizations are saying, it is nothing but a fraud. Our food supply has been contaminated. The chicken that is being processed overseas is coming here. It is not labeled accordingly, and they are using expired meat. They're spraying on this bacteria-eating virus. Although they say it's for cold cuts and chicken nuggets, it is being sprayed on everything. Our food supply has been compromised. Look at Monsanto saying this, that we oppose current initiatives to mandate labeling of ingredients of GM seeds in the absence of any demonstrated risks. They're saying, look, you can't prove that anything's wrong with this, so you shouldn't need to label it. And then they also said that, you know, if we label it, it's going to say that our product is inferior. So we don't want labeling, and we will do everything to stop that. Well, that is how you know that the alumni are working in the government, when you can't even have that food labeled accordingly. This is so terrible, and this is just the way it is. The government structure is there to protect the elite. They have government employees basically working for these corporations. That's how it works. The government is not there to protect you. The government has unfortunately failed in this regard. Agent Orange is a chemical weapon that was used during the Vietnam War, which killed or maimed nearly 1 million people. But now Dow created this GM corn variety that contains one of the principal ingredients of this Agent Orange, and it's now being used, the most widely used herbicide in the world. So you have this poisonous, venomous herbicide being used on crops all over the world that we consume. The only way that this is possible is by use of the government structure to protect them. I hope that you'll want to read this one. This is in the description of every video that I do, my GMO free ebook. I hope that you'll read it. This is how the food supply gets compromised. This is how we have the revolving door in government. And I hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. And I hope that you will also become an insider. It is totally free. It's at themoneygps.com at the bottom. You fill in your email address and you get really good intel from me in short, concise emails. Take care.